Zurich, and it's in Switzerland. I'm gonna be staying here for about 2 days, and already good things have happened. I arrive and my baggage isn't there, and so they're gonna send me my luggage in about 3 days, I think. So I have nothing to wear for 3 days, but it is what it is. It happens. And I was gonna get an Uber. It was gonna be like 20 minutes to get to the Airbnb, about 32 euros, but my Uber app doesn't want to work and I don't want to pay for a taxi, so we are walking to the Airbnb right now. It says it's about like a 2.5 hour walk. I'm just gonna see how far I can go and maybe get a taxi if I get tired, but honestly the weather is really freaking nice, so I'm thankful for that. We made it to the Airbnb, guys. Oh my god. I was lucky enough to find those scooters, so that cut my trip by like 20 minutes. I was supposed to get here at 7, but it's 6:40, so we're at the Airbnb. I'm hungry. This is like the aftermath of like my backpack. But I'm just gonna be here for 2 days, and I have to figure out what I'm gonna do about clothing, about like hygiene, about like charging, like it's very annoying. But I want to show you guys the outside of my Airbnb. The inside is very simple, just like a bed, a desk, and then like I think that's like a fridge and a chair, and then I share the kitchen and the bathroom with I think 4 other rooms. But let me show you the outside. It's pretty. Guys, I devoured that pizza after walking / scootering for like 3 hours. I was so hungry. That was like a $25 pizza, but it was actually really good. But I ate it up. Now I'm just gonna go to sleep and see what we do tomorrow. I probably really need to buy some clothes, a toothbrush, deodorant, like. But yeah, let's go to sleep. Hey guys, before I end this video, I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit of the things that I noticed with my travels to Montenegro. Hopefully this information will help you if you're planning to go visit Montenegro, especially in the Tibet area. So yeah, just want to give you guys a little FYI. Tibet is a small little city, so there is an airport that arrives in Tibet. It's a super small airport, not a huge airport. Yeah, going through customs, it was super easy, super fast. In my experience, there's usually either a long line or there's a bit of a hassle, but it was super easy to come on through. When I asked for a taxi, I told them where I wanted to go. I gave them the address, and they gave me a person to drive me. This person, I don't think they were officially a taxi driver because they didn't have the taxi logo on top. It was just like a regular car, and he told me he was going to charge me 20 euros to get to the address, which I thought was kind of expensive because I was told it was going to be around 15 euros, but I was like, 5 euros more, it is what it is. You know, I just want to get home and rest. So it was 20 euros to get to the Airbnb, which is like, I don't know, maybe like a 10-15 minute drive. So it was 20 euros, but I will say that from the Airbnb back to the airport, I actually did get an official taxi driver, and he charged me 5 euros. And he actually had like a meter for the amount he was going to charge me, so huge difference there. So just a thing for you guys to know. If it's someone who's not an actual taxi driver and doesn't have the meter, it's likely they're gonna charge you a little bit more. I wanna take this time to give a huge thanks to my host, Jelena. She welcomed me into the Airbnb that day, and from that day on, any questions I had for her, she responded in just a few minutes. That's something that I appreciate so much, and I'm sure a lot of people would appreciate. So she was an amazing host. She was always there for me, always responsive. The place was clean, it was beautiful. So I highly recommend Jelena. She was just a sweetheart for me, so I appreciate her. Thank you, Jelena, so much for my stay, and I recommend you guys stay with her in her Airbnbs. Like I've said before, the weather was hot. It was summertime, so it's to be expected. But just so you know, if you plan on walking around everywhere, it's kind of hard to do it during the day, because after 5 minutes walking out there, you'll start sweating. It is so hot. So unless you have a car, a scooter, a bike, expect to sweat during the summertime into that. But it's also a great thing that they are next to the ocean, so you can cool off and have a great day by the water if you wanted to. I did notice that there was a lot of languages into that, but the one that is probably their main language is Serbian. But I did get the feel there was a lot of like ciao, and I know ciao is like Italian, so I was like confused. I was like, do you say ciao in Serbian too? I don't know, but I did ask, and they said that the main language that they speak out there is Serbian. So keep that in mind, but also know I do feel like I heard a lot of different languages, probably because a lot of tourists arrived there from all around the world. So that's probably why. As you guys probably would have seen, there are a lot of stray cats out there. But there's also, I saw a few dogs, probably less than a handful, but they weren't like wild, aggressive dogs. Honestly, like I tried to pet some of them, but they honestly just ignored me. So yeah, didn't encounter any aggressive animals out there. The grocery stores, most of them I would say are on the pretty small side. You know, every section was pretty small compared to what I'm used to in California. One thing that I noticed is that you have to price your veggies and fruits yourself. So they have a little weigher where you put the amount of, let's say, tomatoes that you want to buy. Let's say you want to buy 4 tomatoes. You put it on the weight machine, and then you pick the number that the tomatoes are. Let's say it's number 37, so you press 37, and then it's weighing 37, which is weighing the tomatoes, and then it prints out the price that is the tomatoes. So I did notice that I didn't do that the first few times, and they would go back to where the fruits and veggies were, and they did it for me. So that is something that I learned, that is a little different from California to here. A lot of the products and brands out there, there's some similar ones, but for the most part, none of it is in English. You'll find some that do have English on it and other languages, but for the most part, you kind of just have to see the picture, see what it is, and hope you're getting the right thing, because it probably won't be in English. I did notice that a lot of people don't really smile. They're not very friendly out there. They're just pretty much a little bit on the serious side. I did encounter some people who were friendly and did smile. I would say mainly in the restaurants, but like for example the grocery store, they just didn't give off like a super friendly vibe. Also, when I'm passing people on the street, none of them give you eye contact. So it was something that I'm not used to, and it was something that was a little upsetting, because I was so excited to just like learn how to say good morning, hello in their language, but none of them really look at you. They kind of just like look down and walk past you and ignore you. But you know, that's how they are out there. That's their culture, I guess. But just keep that in mind. It's probably not a personal thing, it's just how they are. Everything that I ate out there was great. I had no issues with pretty much any food. The food at the restaurant, the food at the grocery store, all of it was just perfectly okay. And I even feel like it was a bit on a healthier side as well, compared to the options that they give in the US. Like there's not a lot of food out there that's very fattening. So yeah, I definitely feel like you could live a healthier lifestyle in Europe than in the United States, for sure. When I was into that, there was no like McDonald's, Burger King, KFC, Carl's, like there's none of that over there. So, you know, back at home, it's so easy for me to, you know, go to a fast food place and just get food. But over here, I had to, one, walk to wherever I needed to get food, and two, it was most likely not fattening food. So definitely a lot healthier out here in Europe, at least into that for sure. They do close the grocery stores on Sundays, just so you know. So if you are low on groceries, make sure that Saturday you get those groceries done, because on Sundays they are not open. I noticed a lot of purple flowers into that, which made me so happy. I just love seeing purple flowers. I love seeing dragonflies. I did see a lot of dragonflies too, because there was a bit of a small little wash right across the street from me. So a lot of dragonflies, but a lot of purple flowers as well. Also, I noticed that a lot of people had in their yards fruits that were growing that you don't really see in the US. They had a lot of grapevines, a lot of grapevines. So I think they're big on wine. I did notice some of them had kiwis. I believe it was kiwis. It looks a lot like kiwis, and a lot of pomegranates. So that was very nice to see. If you're gonna be out there, expect a lot of church bells. Probably every single hour, to be honest. Lots and lots of church bells. So if that is something that's going to bother you, try to get an Airbnb that's not super close to a church. One thing I am very proud of from this trip is the fact that I did not end up using a scooter or a bike throughout my whole trip. So I did a lot of walking, and I think that helped with my health and my stamina. So I took advantage of that, and I am very happy that that's the lifestyle that they have out there. Because the lifestyle that I have in California, which is understandable, anywhere I need to go, I take my car. So I was very happy to be able to do that in Europe for a whole month. Most of the ice cream shops, you hear the bells. A lot of the places that offer like ice cream and stuff, it's not ice cream, it's mostly gelato, so get used to that. I saw mostly the ice creams at like grocery stores and liquor stores and whatnot, but if it's an actual ice cream store, it's mostly gelato. There was a few thunderstorms out there when I was out there, even though it was summer. There was probably like 5 days when it rained and it was thunderstorm and lightning, so that was pretty cool. But the bad thing about that is that after a rainy day, the next day there's just a ton of mosquitoes. So I mean, there's a ton of mosquitoes already because we are next to a body of water, which is to be expected. It's humid out there, but after a rainy day, that's when the mosquitoes were going crazy. So just keep that in mind for the next day. I did notice that the Lays that I would eat out there, they felt like a little bit thinner than the Lays that we have back at home. So that was just something that was interesting. I think they're more into tea out there than they are with coffee. It was very hard for me to find any creamer for my coffee, so most of the time my coffee was just black with sugar. I don't think I really look for a creamer, but I feel like if I did find a creamer, it wouldn't be like the sugary ones that we have back at home. It would just be like cream, pretty much, like no flavor, no sweet flavor. So keep that in mind. I could be wrong with that one. Maybe I don't feel like I really looked. And also I did end up renting a car out there for 2 days, and it turned out to be 99 euros. So if you are planning on renting a car, just know that you're probably gonna spend like $50 a day for a car. But yeah, that is all the information I have for my trip from Montenegro. I hope you guys found that useful. I had an amazing time out there. It was really great, and I am excited to see what Liechtenstein has in store for us. So let's get this going. If you're not subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and subscribe. It would mean the world to me. And for those of you who are subscribed, thank you so much. I really appreciate you from the bottom of my heart. And yeah, let's discover Liechtenstein. Let's do it. Vámonos.